Kavanah, what the uftu is of learning Rambam, even though we know we have to do it. But still, since like Kol Yenish Adaita Drape Adar Boim Shnin is a Ma'amar Chazal, that means there's an extra appreciation and a little bit of an extra understanding of the Rebbe's Takana. This is going to foil that from here onwards, the learning of the Rambam will be with more chayis and more depth and more limud and more amkos, being that it is 40 years. We have with us over here a young man, a big balesik from the greatest ballet asokim here in Montreal, very busy in verschiedene enterprises, and he decided that he's going to start learning. This was from the last Maxor. He's going to start learning 3 prokim a day of Rambam, like the Rebbe's Takana. And Baruch Hashem, he's holding by finishing it. It's my great honor and privilege to call Reb Chaim Spiegelman.
This is Rabbi Balon's L'chaim. No, come on. Give it to Rabbi Balon. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu b'chol sha'akol niyeh b'dvorim. L'chaim. Das עובד. The engineer. I can't hold it. Okay, חושב הרבונים משפיעים, אנש, בוחרים, חברים, and versteht sich, my good Yedid, Reb Mendy. Welcome to Montreal. He's the guest speaker, wherever Rabbi says, Nish Poshet. V'achrei nachrin chaviv Yedidi, Reb Shmuel Zalmana, the organizer of tonight's evening. I think he deserves a recognition. Shmuel is Isaac B'tzorchei Tzibor Ve'emuna, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yeshalem Zcharcha Ve'ishlach Bracha V'atzlacha B'chol Masei Yodecha. Shmuel, come on. So today's Shushan Purim, and I'm a Yerushalmi, and as the good book says, a Yerushalmi always stays a Yerushalmi. So for me it's Purim. So we'll start with a Purim spiel. I want to be a psychic for 2 seconds or 2 minutes. And I could read everybody's mind here in this hall. I could just read your mind. I'm looking at each one and I'm basically reading your mind. Each one of you. What are you thinking? I'll tell you what you're thinking. What is Chaim Spiegelman from Pizza Pita doing on the stage? Is this a food convention? Is this a real estate convention or סיום הרמב"ם? What are we? There was a sign outside? No. Maybe we're in the wrong place. The truth is that I'm also asking the same question. What am I doing here? And the answer is very, very, very simple. I'm here for one reason. It's to make a difference. To make a difference even in one person that is going to start learning Rambam. If it's tonight, if it's here, if it's through technology after that, my friend Shmuel will make sure that it's all over the world. So even if I could be mashpia on one person, I'm here. So I'd like to start with sharing everyone my relationship with the Rambam. So we just mentioned that it's Shushan Purim. So we can start with Milford of Dechusa. Is that okay with everybody? Yeah, good. So in the beginning, before the age of pictures in passports, used to be a piece of paper and you cross the border with that. In that piece of paper, there was basic information. Your height, color of your eyes, color of your hair, but there was no picture. You could check it out in Google or Torah. All those information is a fact. There was another piece of information, the size of your nose. Interesting, but that's a fact. So there's a person that crossed the border, and the officer checks his papers, and all the information is correct. It looks 100%. But there's one issue. It says on the paper that the gentleman has a small nose. But in fact, he had a big nose. The officer looks at him and says, "Sir, everything matches, but there is one part that is not matching. It says here that you have a small nose, but I see that you have a big nose." He turns around and laughs and tells the officer, "Where I come from, my nose is considered to be small." There's big and small. There's people that we say that they're small and we call them big. And there's people that are big and we still call them big. But sometimes there's people that we call them big, giant, and that word is even small on them because they're so much bigger than the word big. Rambam is called a Nesher Agadol. What's Nesher? Nesher is a bird, a strong bird that flies the highest from all the other birds. Therefore we say, there's an expression that we say, if I could see something from an eagle's eye. The Rambam was a philosopher, a doctor, Oged De'ot, a Talmid Chochem, like never before. Nesher Agadol is Begematria, we just checked it out before, Moshe Rabbeinu without the Yud. And Rambam we say, Mi Moshe vad Moshe loy kam ke Moshe. Rambam is considered to be one of the biggest poskim from every generation. He did not leave one part in Torah Moshe, Torah Shebechsav, and Torah Shebal Peh that did not write about it. There's not one corner or stone that he did not touch. In everything was with the Seder Misuda. If you appreciate organization and a Seder, you will find a Seder there. There is nothing that is not in the Rambam. As a matter of fact, the Rambam writes in his Akdome that Ato loimed bezeh achibur ve'eino tzorich chibur acher zulosei. If you learn the Rambam, you're okay. Don't check it anywhere else. All those information I discovered 4 years ago. Even though the takana of the Rambam was already 40 years ago, this takana could have been a father or a grandfather to many of you here. As much as I could remember myself, I came to all Siyumei Rambam. And that's the fact. I was. Shmuel Examiner has pictures. I came to all the Siyumei. After a while, you convince yourself that this is what the Rebbe wanted. Just to show up at the Siyum. You come, you take a picture, say hello to your friends, you have a little mezainas, l'chaim, and Zaygazon to start. You sort of become in that environment that this is what the Rambam is all about. More than that, the Rebbe was very me'oid the Siyumim. 4 years ago, I was mushpa from Rabbi Yaakov Ringo, that at that time was the Rav of our Kehillah Anshe, now he's in the United States somewhere. And he started with an interesting technique, and I think this is something that everyone could share, every shliach, every Rav. And he started to do something in the nature of Sfiras HaEmer. Instead of saying there's so many days when the סיום is, he started to say there's so many days when the Rambam will begin. Ayim Shnei Shavuos v'Yom Echad L'Tchilas HaRambam, and on and on and on. Gave you enough time, and I am by nature very mesudar. And every time I woke up and I wanted to join the Rambam, I was always too late. Now, I had warnings and warnings and warnings, and then I said, now is the time that I will start the Rambam. And this was 4 years ago. I started with 1 perek a day. I discovered a new world that I did not know before. After 2 weeks of learning the Rambam, honestly, I have to say, you become addicted. You can't stop. Everyone that ever started the Rambam for the first time could understand exactly what I'm talking about. You become addicted. It's like a chaydak, a bug. If you start the Rambam and after 2 weeks you're not addicted, you have a different problem. Totally a different problem. When you learn the Rambam, there is nothing that is not there. The Lashon Rambam, Afoichbo, Va'afoichbo, Va'ogebo, Dekulabo, everything is there. I would like to share with the audience something personal that until now I only shared it with Yehuda Zgula. Very close to the סיום Rambam last year, which was 1 perek. I wasn't sure what is my next step. Will I continue with 1 perek, or will I do Mailim B'Kodesh and upgrade myself to 3 prakim Rambam a day? At that time, I received a letter, and I'm going to change the language for 2 seconds, excuse me, and I will switch to Hebrew, from obvious reason that you'll understand in a minute. קיבלתי מכתב ממס הכנסה, ופתחו בחקירה מסוימת על אחד מהחברות שהייתי מעורב בה, וזה משהו שמאוד מאוד לא שימח אותי, וביותר מזה הפחיד אותי מאוד נורא. דאגתי ופחדתי. זה היה ממש בתקופה where there was סיום הרמב for 1 perek. I took the letter that I received, I tore it in half. The bottom part was empty, and I wrote upon to the Rebbe. And I told the Rebbe that I'm upgrading myself from 1 perek to 3 prakim a day. And the other part, the top part, which is right here, I decided that I'm going to use it as my siman in the Rambam where I'm holding, and I'm still using it. This is the top part. I'm not going to open it completely, for obvious reason, but as a businessman, you know when you sign a contract, it's signed. You can have chavota 110 times. It's a signature. The minute you wrote to the Rebbe and you switched from 1 perek to 3 prakim, my friend, there's no way back. You sign a deal, you sign a contract, you appreciate the business deal, ain't going back. And I followed from that moment on 3 prakim a day. It wasn't easy, I have to admit. But in my personal life, I see miracles every day. And I see that the Rambam is a bracha, a personal bracha. I've heard a story not long ago that was shared with me from Shmuel David Reichik that came to the Rebbe with a millionaire and stood in line, and when he came close to the Rebbe, he told the Rebbe that he's in a situation, he's in business, but he's in mind of matzah that in 1 minute everything could be kaput, or it could turn completely the other way around and he could become a billionaire. The Rebbe turned to him and asked him, are you learning Rambam? Are you learning Rambam? He looked at the Rebbe, what's the connection? And the Rebbe realized that this guy is like, I want a bracha, not advice. The Rebbe realized that his face is like with a big question mark and answered him that the Rambam is Rosh Tevis, Rabbois Moifsai Be'eretz Mitzrayim. That's a Zgule V'ach V'kein Yetzu B'chush Godol. This question you ask children, you could ask adults as well. If I would give you, if I could make magic, and I could give you 5 minutes to spend with any Doile Ador from the beginning, from the time of Adam Arishon ad Hayom Hazeh, who would you spend it with? Legit question. All of you can think to yourself and answer to yourself and decide who you would want to spend time with. 5 minutes. I personally thought about that, and I would love to spend 5 minutes with the Rambam. I want to see how a human being, practically a malach, wrote the Mishnah Torah Rambam 850 years ago. Think for a second, if you would have to write it today, how many people would you hire? Computers, network, and editing, going back and forth. This is what I would love to spend that 5 minutes. I want to see that with my own eyes. I urge everyone here, and this is the time also to say thank you to Yossi Mochkin, that makes sure that the Dvar Malchus reaches Montreal every week. I know that my Shver, Moshe Eli Garlinsky, Oliver Sholem, was a big misnaged to the Dvar Malchus. Shmulik every once in a while put some, on YouTube, put some little clips where my Shver is screaming, the Rambam weint, the Chumash weint, the Mishnah is weint, the Gemara weint, he didn't like it, but I personally, it's the Yeridas Hadoros, and I see miracles in the Dvar Malchus. Number one, you will do Yuchitas much better. You will have no excuse. Where's the Chumash? Where's the Tanya? I have and I hear. Everything is here, from the beginning to the end. You'll be bischazek and Chitas, because you can't do Rambam if you don't do Chitas. It doesn't work that way. You don't go to the dessert before the main meal. So Chitas, you'll definitely be bischazek. Furthermore, I'd like to share with you personal stuff. I know there's a lot of Bachim here, but there's a lot of you in the light. And I found that the Dvar Malchus is also Zgula for Shalom Bayis. You wonder why. We don't have to buy flowers for our wives every once in a while, but nature of things that we forget. All of a sudden there's a birthday, there's an anniversary, v'chulu v'chulu, midamontzach melayf, the letzte minute, you run to the store, it's half closed, half of the flowers are dying, you grab something, you bring it home. Yaitz zayin. I personally took the Dvar Malchus. Every time the color was pink, I bought flowers. You could use that technique. It's not personal, I'm sharing it with everyone, but you're welcome to do the same. Today is Mamish Ben Hafechu, from Shushan Purim to Simchas HaTorah. That's how I feel. For me, it's the second time I'm finishing the Rambam. The First time was 1 Perek, and today I'm finishing 3 Prokim. I remember the first time I finished the Rambam last year, and I decided to do it amongst family members and friends in my house. I could just share with you that I couldn't finish the Rambam. Tears were choking my throat when I had to say the last words of the Rambam, and I'm saying it very sincerely. I couldn't finish it off. I had to stop over and over and over again and have a little bit of water to drink so I could finish it. Do you have any idea what kind of time of ruchni it is to finish the Rambam the first time? It was like Simchas Torah. Today I'm finishing the second time 3 Prokim a day, and I'm very, very proud of it. I would like to finish with the same words as the Rambam. Rabbi Banon just mentioned that. It's a chelik from Rambam. The Rebbe used to repeat it many, many times at the end of Sichas. Ki molo oretz deya savaye kamayim layom mechasim. What's deya? Deya, when you translate it to English, is knowledge. When you learn Rambam, you get knowledge. There is nothing that in the entire Torah Shebechsav and Torah Shebal Peh, that you finish Rambam, you have a certain knowledge in everything. Maybe not complete, but you can, with time, get better and better on that. Also, Kamayim Layom Mechasim, mentioned 3 times Yam. And this is my Egin Torah, you can slug me up anytime you want after. Mentioned 3 times Yam. Yam, Yud is 10, Mem is 40, Mispar Kotten is 14. First of all, Yudalet, everybody knows, is Chabad. Ayada Chazaka, the Rambam has, the Sefer HaMitzvahs, the 14 Shoroshim, and the 14 Krochim of the Rambam. This is Yad. Merames, Yam, Yam, Yam. Yam, 10, 40, together is 14. That's the Remez in the Rambam. You look at your hands, you see a Yad, Yad HaChazaka, which is a Yud and a Dalet. Every time you say Shema, twice a day, look at your hands and think that I do the Rambam today. That will give you a chizuk and a reminder. And I would like to conclude with 2 points. You want to kesher with the Rebbe? Rambam. You want to bring Mashiach, you want to come to a point of Mola Oretz Deya? Learn Rambam. Thank you very much.
Heeft ze geholpen, you should continue to be Matzliach in all deine Asokim. And you should be Matzliach in your learning of the Rambam. Wir haben die größte Spiele, als sie gekommen mit Stadt sein in der Sim Rambam, der Choshev Jibedain, Rav Agon, Rav Yechil Meir Kohen Katz, Und es muss alles sein mit der Proverb.
Ich klage nicht zu reden, wenn man nicht gesucht friert, man ist zugegreift, nach Kusche und Zibber, in Bennis, in der Grünschere für zu kommen, aber heute von der Schmiel zusammen auf, und ich kann durchsuchen, außer was haben wir die man sagt, Juden, in der Frage, man sagt mal, der Welt noch, also kommen gewisse Gelegenheiten, aber ich habe größtes Balles von der Schmiel, eine von den Sachen, wo es Chabad wird, in so einem Nächten gesessen, Jontes und Bieren, jeder Bespuche, was verbringt, was muss am Eier gewesen, was wir trinken. In Schmiel ist reingefahren in etliche Twieses. Haben gewesen, was der Schiete beim Dauern hat, die Lust, kommt in eine Hand an Lier. Weil sagt, Jöitze, wir weiß, was hier. Und nicht von ein Twies, sondern für 4 Twieses. Ist den ganzen Tag gesessen, in Gemeinden, Sache gewesen jeden. Das ist ein bisschen gewollte Sache. Ein bisschen bin ich mir Kinder geworden auf dem. Das ist ein bisschen schwerer für zu verstehen. Aber hier geht er weg mit den ganzen Tieren. Da beginnen von der Messias Nefisch. Nicht mehr geht er weg mit dem Spruch, geht er weg den ganzen Rochen, die Matze von Bieren, wo er hier sitzen und da und lernen. Du weißt doch, Bieren der gewaltige Zug. Hat er weggegeben, von uns, man sagt, es sind zerbrochen, und jeden, die sitzen, haben mit Wiesen, dann können solche sein zu der Mitte. Ich dachte, wohin aber ich dachte, auf Kinder, mit einem Kassel sind, als an die Mama. In echt, wir gewinnen die Jonte von Bieren, und die Jonte von Bieren ist Mechies Amulek. Dus het op de jongen van Bieren, wat Mechies Amulek, typisch was eigenlijk Amulek met dagen als je mooi, dus in ze bageren, in ze bakushen, in ze vullen. Die doe een woord van een heilig nummer 9. Wir haben noch einmal gewesen, als hier von der Bläser und Schickenberg, als hier von dem Heiligen Rapschen zu Ruf. Von der amulige Gedäule ist Ruhe Rebes, der Hatstere soll, aber Melchummen Hashem Amulek mit Deuer. Wo ist der Melchummen mit Amulek, der Heiligste gehalten, Melchummen von Wus, war ki Yoda Kais Ka, so der Geraschach, als alle Sungens, ein Schemoi-Schulem, war ein Kisse-Schulem, als Jimche Schemoi von Amulek. In welke heilig van hem Shema waar is Jodo, Yid Kai du. In der Wuf Kai is nicht du. So der in der neue Yid Kai, Wuf Kai is Hoyu, Hoive, Veir. Dus het is maar aan de Shema waar, wo ik hier Hoyu, der Eibestere gewesen, Hoive, is Itzter, Veir, is Haan, is Haag. Aber der Amulek hat Masken gewesen auf den Hoju, kein gewesen. Ist Masken so trachten auf ein Jier. Will noch nicht, dass wir so bleiben in einem Hoju. Das ist der Melchummen von Amulek, dass will Oikel sein am Hoju. Jetzt der trachtische Gebäudestelle. Nächten, man Tater, man Seide, morgen, Mashiach kommen, aber jetzt der Losu, jetzt der See, Samen, Schicke, in alle Tagen sollen wir mal sehen. In Hoju schrapen mit Haid in Ahai. In hier ist auch Haid mit Ahai. Hoive ist ein Wuf in Ahai. Ich wusste den Melchummen von Amulek. Amulek hat gewollt, wegnehmen den Wuf in Ahai. Will noch den Yidkai. Ist Melchummen Hashem Amulek Yoda Kais Ka. Sie du Ka in der Wuf Kai will Oiker sein. In Dusse sind sie Melchummen, aber Hoive. Jeden Tag soll ich lernen, jeden Tag soll ich etwas aufziehen. Jeden Tag, nicht nächten im Morgen. Dienste. Das ist von der Balamister steigt. Der Uwar ist der Grönes. Gedenkt. Der Uset ist Dimjönes. In der Itzter der Heuwe ist Nisjönes. Der Mensch, der Heuwe von einem Mensch ist Nisjönes. Sie hat Schwierigkeiten. aber mit Schwierigkeit darf man sich misgaber sein. In Dusse de Mechumme von Amulek Aid und normaler sein, gewusste wie Rummel, soll lernen, soll dauern, soll die Mitzes, man sagt, es sind jüdische Kinder, soll der einigste Helfen, soll zurückgehen sein, man gelernt Rambam, man lernt andere Sachen, mit den Mitzes im Maßen Teufel, soll der einigste Helfen, dem Schiss, soll man zurückgehen sein, zu Mechies Amulek, mit dem Teufel, bis man zurückgehen sein, zu Schmoy-Schulen, Bekisse-Schulen, bis Galskot-Scheman, und Rachtel, wenn man sucht, Timche, Seicher Amulek, mit Tachas HaShemoy. Das heißt, mit Tachas HaShemoy, die Gabe Männer. Als Timche Seicher Amulek, Lemane Männer HaShemoy. Timche Seicher Amulek, a jeder gefällt sich doch nur jetzt. Wo ist Bescheid mit Tachas HaShemoy? Weißt du, ich kann sagen, die Gemüse sucht dich in Besuchen, Ruwe gefragt das Tiere. Ein Fuß steht, Kigudel Atschumain Chasdeichu. In ein Fuß steht Kigudel Maal Shumain Chasdeichu. En für die Mure kam bei uns für Lishma, kam bei uns für Shaloi Lishma. Oysen Lishma ist Maal Shumain, in Oysen Shaloi Lishma ist Atschumain. Kommt sich ein der Ram, und der Ram im Maas bewusst der Chilik von Maal Shumain. Tachas HaShemoy. So der Heilige Ram, Maal Shumain ist der Mann über der Chateva. Der Mann über der Chateva ist der Schande der Marichas HaShemoy. In Tachas HaShemoy geht alles über der Chateva. Ist normaler, wenn einer ist äußert beteurer Lishma, ist solche die Chassuden, der Mann über der Chateva. Einer äußert Shaloi Lishma, ist nur über der Chateva. Ich kann sagen, in der Bakushi ist der Beine-Schlöden, Timche Seichras Amulek, mit Tachas HaShemoy, mit der Chateva. Nicht auch mit Zike mit Zileman, aber mit der Chateva soll ausgeweckt werden, der Amulek von dem Lord, soll man solche sein, sie ist Rammes gehen, hat heute, weil handelt, bis Gott schon ein,
Schkoyer, Herr Katz, bei meinem mit Kovakul und noch ein Menschen, jährlich Junge Mann, man lacht euch, und wir sollen gehen zusammen mit der ganzen Gehille, der Kabel Pnei Mashiach Sitkeni Bekorev. Amen. Even though we don't start the new Mahzor the Rambam until Wednesday, and today is Monday, but still Maskitin Aschol Shlomo, the Rebbe says that when you finish the Rambam, even though it's not exactly the time when you start, nevertheless you should start learning the Rambam right away, mitzat the Maskitin Aschol Shlomo. So we'd like to call upon any from the Rabboni Anash here in Montreal, Chaver Bezdin Vadayir, and the Rova Beis HaMedrash Lubavitch, Harav Berel HaKoyin Bell should honor us with the Haskalas Rambam. Harav Bell.